My name is Barney Tabak. I'm a member on the board at congregation near to me. Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
I know. He wasn't speaking into it, I think, is the problem.
But that podium one isn't working either.
I didn't put it on.
Just tell me to use a mic instead.
Test 1, 2.
Thanks.
They weren't
Eddie.
The mic says 32,
Which one is yours?
31.
Okay, start again.
Can everyone hear Barney?
Good Shabbos. Wow. My name is Barney Tabak. I'm on the board. I'm going to read the announcements very quickly, so we'll get started. Now is the time to register for religious school for CNT members from pre-K to 12th grade. If you need the information about the website, you can find the information on the website, or you can come see me after services. It's also time to enroll 18 months of pre-K age kids in the Gary and Lynn Cantor Early Childhood Education Center preschool. Call the office, schedule a tour, and ask about early bird specials and the referral program. The first day of preschool is next Monday, August 8th. You can help CNT Adult B'nai Mitzvah students help the homeless by donating men's shoes, bottles of water, and takeout containers through Thursday, August 18th. Use the Venmo QR code posted on the donation box in the lobby area, in our lobby area, to donate cash. You can also call Sonia Haggerty, who can pick up your donations. Cantor Hutchings is organizing an intergenerational choir to perform at the Family Kol Nidre service on Tuesday, October 4th. RSVP to the Cantor at lvneartomeme.org for rehearsal times and to attend the opening day pool party on Sunday, August 14. Pam Henderson will continue to teach her Intro to Hebrew class on Wednesdays starting on August 10th through November 16th. They take place from 6 to 7 p.m. here at the synagogue. It will cost $50 for CNT members and $75 for non-members. You can register again on the website. And finally, longtime CNT member Jen Wolf is offering a 4-part Zoom workshop called From Aging to Saging. Register now for all 4 classes starting August 24th. Well, that wasn't the end. Please save the date for our Vegas-themed Perspective Member Shabbat on Friday, August 19th at 6:15. We're inviting those who are new to the area and interested in joining CNT to attend. Shabbat service will feature the Shabbatones, pizza, and crazy ice cream oneg, and a bounce house for kids. CNT members who also bring a new friend to the Shabbat service will receive surprise gifts. It's important that we build our congregation, and this is a great opportunity to do that. We're good?
That was good, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I like it.
Sometimes I think that Alex is just working on job security by leaving things so that I have to figure it out. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So just a quick reminder, in case you have not registered for religious school, I know many of you have. We're trying to get in before the price went up at 6 p.m. Well, you missed it if you didn't, if you forgot. And it's going to go up again before the first day. So here's your last chance to get in before we do the next price hike. So we want you to join us, and we're really excited that we have such high enrollment already, and the year has not yet begun, but it will in just a few weeks. All right, so we have to get into that Shabbat mood. I'm joined tonight by Eddie Birch on piano and 2 of our junior cantors, Magnolia and Maya, and of course, Del, our shamus, on the bima. So we're going to begin with Shalom Aleichem, where we welcome the Shabbat angels, page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchoni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Kadosh Baruch Hu. We turn back to page 120 for our candle blessings. Our junior cantors will light the Shabbat candles tonight for us. We bring in the beauty that is Shabbat. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Turn to page 138 as we welcome our Shabbat bride into our space, into our hearts. We'll be doing verses 1, 2, and 9. And when we get to verse 9, you rise as you are able. Yalla lecha dodi, yalla likrat kala, yalla penei Shabbat nekabe, yalla lecha dodi, yalla likrat kala, yalla penei Shabbat. P'nei Shabbat nekavela, Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, ushmo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'lithilah, yailai yalalala lecha dodi, yalala likrat kala, yalalala p'nei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machshava tchila, yailai yalalala lecha dodi, yalalala likrat kala, yalalala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. We rise to greet the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvtzohola, toch emunei am segula boi chala boi chala ya la la ya la 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 khadodi ya la 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 likrat kala ya la 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 penei Shabbat nekabela. We remain standing for the Baruch Hu, page 146, and we got a literal Shabbat bride to walk in this evening, so thank you, Emma. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Please be seated for a moment. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hamari v'Aravim.
As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Oh, before we start with our Shema, we're going to ask anyone who is becoming a bar or bat mitzvah in the next year, or who has become a bar or bat mitzvah in the last year, to join us on the bima to lead us in the Shema and Ve'ahavta together.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Asher Anohi Mitzavecha Hayom Alevavecha Veshinatam Levanecha V'dibartam Bam B'shivtecha V'veitecha Uvlevtecha V'aderech Ushachbecha Uvkumecha Ukshartam Leot Al Yadecha V'hayu Totafot Beinenecha Uchtaftam Al Mezuzot Beitecha Uvisharecha Leman Tizkeru Vasitem Et Kol Mitzvotai V'yetem Kedoshim Lelohehem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Tzeitietem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot Lachem Lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Standing at the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught. Forever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here or there except by joining hands and marching together.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל הכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. Page 158.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדור בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אלה מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדור בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אלה
כי את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. We turn to page 162, and we recall the beauty, the sacredness of Shabbat.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעסוק את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם בני את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים
ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Last time, let me hear you. Here we go.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Meyer has that choreography down in the back. It's not the one, like, I know it feels silly when you do it by yourself, but when you do it collectively, it's very cool. Okay. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. We rise on page 164. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufia gitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Eloheinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Ha'Norah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zoher Ha'Se'avot v'Imaot, u'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, leman shemo le'ahava, melech ozer u'mashiach u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai,
Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah.
Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol, Ata rab le'hoshia, mori hazal, mechayel ha'im bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim ramim, somek noflim berofei holim, umatir asurim, umechayem emunato lishnei afar, bichamocha bagevurot, umidom elach, melech memit umechayem, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayem hakol.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהלוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We continue in silent devotion through page 180, using the words on the right or the left side of the page, or the words that are within your heart. When you have completed your personal prayer, please be seated. At this time, we think of those who are in the bed of illness, that are in need of our healing prayers, our comfort, our support. I ask those of you who are following on our live stream that if there are people you are thinking of tonight, that you please put their names in the chat so we can say them aloud. Submitted to our office, Bessie De La Malera, Jean-Marc Chaubert, Logan Knapp, Knapp family, Valerie Rocher, Angela Thompson, Demetra McGowan, Rivka Wolf, Dory Kurtman, Dina Shee, Mark Greb, Marlene Settle, Jeremy Hutchings. If there's anybody else in the congregation that would like to stand and say the name of a loved one. Kurt Plotkin, Joseph Hodler, Myra Berkowitz, Mel Kenwood, Jeff Garr, Michael Bass, Joanne Dandin. Muhammad Salah, Rebecca Sheftel, Martin Carmen, Tony Gianfermi. If you'd like to follow along with the text, we're on page 371. Michelle Guthrie, Aspen, Lucy Roth, Vincent Rodriguez, Steve Cohen, Cameron Williams, Robert Benz, Jonathan Lachmer, Kim Rodriguez.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We should bring back putting our arms around each other. We took it away for COVID, but I feel like we need it back. At least they're telling us that in the third row. You broke your favorite glass bowl, the one that generation. It's irreplaceable. It's in a million pieces. And it happened after an already frustrating and stressful day. And now you no longer have that beautiful bowl that served as a centerpiece in your kitchen and reminded you of where your home is when you need that reminder the most. You're just standing there, frozen, in the kitchen, afraid to move because you might step on a piece of glass and cut yourself. Mourning your bowl and letting the knowledge of that brokenness set in. It's just a bowl, you tell yourself, but deep down, it's so much more. And now it's broken, and you can't ever get it back to the way it used to be. Tomorrow night is Tisha B'Av, a holiday that is somewhat lost in the Reform movement, but its message is important, and we must commemorate it. It is the commemoration of the destruction of not only the holy temples, but also a nod at remembering the many times we faced destruction and brokenness in our history. Growing up, I didn't so much mourn the holy temples. It happened thousands of years ago. It was hard to connect to a loss like that. I knew what it represented and how it was one of the first of many times that Jews faced tragedy and loss, but it still didn't feel like my story. In 6th grade, however, I learned about the Holocaust. Between pictures, firsthand account taking place, it did feel like my loss, my people's destruction, a wrong that could never be righted. When I was older, maybe college age, and Tisha B'Av came around in the calendar, I began to understand how the destruction of the ancient temples tied to every tumultuous moment that we faced as a people. From the fallen temples to expulsions, to forced conversions, to synagogue burnings, to massacres, to genocide. Anti-Semitism has been our middle name. And yet, we've survived. But the key word is survival. They tried to kill us, we won, let's eat. It's a funny, ironic, sad but true line that carries a lot of baggage. They tried to kill us, and they killed a lot of us, millions over the years. So we hold our own very tightly, we fight for one another, and we don't back down out of generational PTSD. We won. We won, perhaps, or perhaps we survived, just barely, and we needed to rebuild. But we will never be the same. Let's eat. The best comfort is food, and it's been that way for generations. When we're feeling sick, our mother's matzo ball soup doesn't just cure us because of its ingredients, it brings us comfort by its familiar smell. Say, Jews eat after sadness and joy alike because it brings us together. It strengthens us and triggers our fond memories. But what that line doesn't say, they tried to kill us, we won, let's eat, and remember that we are now different, broken, and will never be quite the same. Trauma does that. It chips a piece of us away, and like the glass bowl that shattered on your kitchen floor, some of the glass chips are so minuscule we can't see them on the white floor, and we can't put it back together. Even if we manage to glue the pieces back together, it's never really the same, but it's in a new form. It's not a better form or a worse form, it's just different. As a people, we've grown, we've changed, been broken time and time again, and we are so different. We have splintered off into different groups, from secular to Chabad, to Reform, to Reconstructionist, to Renewal, to Kollel, to Conservative. Some of us keep kosher, most of us do not. Some of us go to Shabbat services, a lot of us do not. Some of us raise our children with Jewish values and education. Many do not. Some marry a Jewish spouse, others do not. Some make their grandma's kugel, others lost the recipe when she died. This isn't a sermon talking about how to be a better connected Jew, but instead to point out that over thousands of years of persecution, we have morphed, calloused, dampened, and numbed into a Judaism that our ancestors probably wouldn't recognize. It's not wrong. Our personal traumas change us. One of the things I kept seeing on social media when the pandemic hit was, "You showed up today and that's enough." Or, "So you didn't make it to the shower today, that's okay." Memes and reels acknowledged the trauma of the start of the pandemic and justified stagnancy. We got used to yoga pants and messy buns as our all-day look, and eating lunch at 4 p.m. because we were consumed by living our lives through a computer screen. Or maybe that was just me, I'm not sure. But with a newborn and a whole congregation online, that was the experience. And we all experienced it in some way. And we broke. Even if it was just a little sliver of glass bowl that we couldn't find until we stepped on it a week later as a reminder, we did, in fact, break. Some of us more than others. Some of us lost loved ones. Some of us lost jobs. Some of us experienced depression like never before. Some of us, well, you fill in your blank. But we're coming back from all of it. We just aren't the same. And just when we thought the pandemic was beginning to subside, My family experienced a trauma, which most of you now know about. Each of us have multiple chips and dings in us from past traumas. No life is perfect, but that's the beauty of it all. It is hard, however, when you get to your first dent at a really young age. Through Emmett's trauma of his daddy's cancer, we've watched a 2.5-year-old things. Now, maybe you're a specialist in child psychology and you're thinking, this is developmentally when that's supposed to happen, Cantor. Well, that could be, but when everyone around you is talking about your dad's cancer, you see your dad's robot carrying medicine into his body, and you spend 6 days without him every 3 weeks, trauma is occurring, and change is bound to happen. Through his eyes, I've begun to realize my own traumas, and even the toll taken in being proximity to each of your traumas. How has that shaped me into who I am? And how has my growth and change been a result of being fractured and bruised? It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. So how do we move forward and live more fully with greater knowledge that we are broken, but we can move forward? So what is Tisha B'Av all about? It's like Leonard Cohen famously said, that's how the light gets in. So we mourn the original crack made by the fallen temple, the origin of our brokenness, and we acknowledge the domino effect that it has had on shaping who we are, as a people and as ourselves. And after we stand there, broken, we allow the light to come in. We stand up, dust off, and embrace our newly minted, slightly chipped and changed form. So as you stand there in your kitchen, afraid to move after the glass bowl has shattered around you, go ahead and cry a little, rage a little, and then take a deep breath and see what kind of masterpiece you can make with all of those broken pieces. Shabbat Shalom. We rise for the Aleinu. We begin to conclude our service. We are on page 586 in the middle. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kecho hamonam. Vanachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. I'll have you remain standing as we prepare for our Kaddish prayer. If you're watching online, please submit the names of those you are thinking of who are no longer with us, whether it was recently or it's their yortzeit, the anniversary of their death, or they're just in your hearts tonight. We turn our Siddur to page 598. We say Kaddish for Mark Hirsch, Judith Sue Katz, Alan Correa, David Villarreal, Lenny Von Dolan, Donald Stewart Goldberg, Carol Ann Scallon Goldberg, Leon Silverstone, Lynn Weiner, Benita Silver, Helen Kraus, Ann Luca, Martha Joy Aft, Jennifer Bailey. We say yahrzeits for Anna Abramson, Carolina Costa, Bernard Adler, Brian Abarsky, George Berger, Edith Bernstein, Ida Birnbaum, Helen Bosick, George Brender, Alan Brown, Ann Chenin, Andrea Lee Cohen, Georgie B. Cooper, Gertrude De Stefano, Caroline DeWald, Sina Leah Fishbane, Judith Fisher, Bessie Freeman, Harry Grotz, William Hellman, David Hirsch, David Cantor, Eugene Kirschbaum, Benjamin Kishner, Shirley Louise Klein Harris, Edith Margoni, Dorothy McDougall, Maureen Sablé, Sam Simon, Carol Spector, Samuel Stahl, Francis Steinberg, Howard Strong, Phyllis Tuck, Vivian Van Dusen, Rosalind Wayne, Judith Wickler, Sydney Wickler. If there's anyone that you're thinking of tonight, please say their name aloud at this time. Helen Groner, Jeffrey Smith. Anyone else? Page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah be'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivorach Leolam Ulalmei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shemei Dekudsha Berichu Le'ela Minkol Berchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Da'miran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say amen. Please be seated. I'm going to call those B'nai Mitzvah and our religious school students up for Kiddush and Motzi. I'll meet you over at that table over there. We're so excited for religious school to start in a couple weeks, and I know you're all excited for school to start on Monday for many of you. I think they really might be excited. I want to thank Maya. She made one of our halot this evening. One of them was made in her kitchen, so we're trying to bring that back. If you have a great recipe and you want to bring it and show us all how great you bake, feel free, let me know. And also I wanted to mention that I wrote that sermon in the hospital last week when I was sitting there with Jeremy, and Rabbi had an idea that maybe I should write like how he has written in the time of Corona, that like maybe I talk about this journey. So I'd love to hear from you if you're interested in that, because for some reason in this time that we're going through, the writing comes very easily to me, and there's a lot that I have to say, but if you don't want to hear it, then I'm not going to write it. So let me know if you're interested in that. All right, let's gather together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pori hagafen. Amen. Eloheinu melech haolam, motzi lehem min haaretz. Amen.
Thank you, Maher.
I know. Thank you. Good job, but that's mine.
Again, I want to thank Eddie Birch on piano, and Eddie Simon, our executive director at the door, with Della Costa, our shamus, our junior cantors, Magnolia Wertheimer and Maya Downs, and all of you for being here tonight. And we look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks. As Barney mentioned, thank you also for doing the announcements, Barney. As he mentioned, we're going to have a special kind of open house Shabbat with the Shabbatones kicking off the new year on August 19th, and that's, I think, at a special time, I believe. Am I right? 6:15. So we hope that you can join us for that. I see a lot of new faces and a lot of returning faces that we haven't seen in a long time. I would love to say hello to you out in the Oneg, which will be in our foyer. And I'd like you to, if you're someone who's here often, maybe you're like part of the Mensch Club or the Sisterhood, or you're here for a lot of things and you see someone you don't know, please introduce yourself and show them that we are a audaciously hospitable community. And we close with, what are we closing with? I don't even remember. Oh, say shalom. Oh, say shalom, bimroma, huya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom, bimroma, huya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Let's pick it up. Oh, say shalom, b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom, b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Shabbat shalom. Rabbi will be there for Torah class tomorrow morning at 8:45 online, and he hopes to see you there.